What's going on, guys? Mickle here. In this video, we're going to be covering the current crash in the cryptocurrency market. Cryptos across the board are losing value rapidly right now. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys everything going on and why this is happening. Most importantly, though, I'm going to be showing you guys where I believe prices are gonna end up and whether or not you guys should be adding to your favorite cryptocurrency right now. This is a very important video. You guys are definitely going to want to watch till the end because it's times like this where it is so important to have a game plan in place and to be considering a whole bunch of different scenarios. In this video, we're going to be going over everything you guys need to know in the next coming days and weeks and what you should be prepared for so you have your game plan in place. Guys, like always, if you're new to this channel or come here all the time, make sure to like and subscribe. It's a great way you can see updates like this as soon as they come out, and also does so many things to help this channel grow and help more people just like you see this content. If after watching this video you realize you should be accumulating XRP, make sure to click the link in the description below for my favorite place to buy XRP. With that said though, guys, let's jump right into it and I hope you enjoy the content. So guys, before we get into the charts, it's so important that we analyze what's going on with the macro so we know whether or not this is an issue with cryptocurrency, an issue with XRP, or this is something bigger. Well, just today, it was announced that the White House thinks that inflation is going to be extraordinarily elevated. This is something that is tanking the markets, not just the crypto markets, but all markets, and very likely the reason we are watching these declines in the cryptocurrency market right now. Now, there are two main reasons we need to take a look at for why the market is acting so dramatically to this news. One, markets hate uncertainty. We already knew inflation was bad, but now the White House is telling us that inflation is actually much worse than we might have thought. Now, this is an extremely uncertain time because the market thought we already had bad inflation and we likely already saw the peak of it. But if the White House is coming out now and saying inflation is going to be much worse than they originally thought, this is bringing a ton of fear into the markets because people were already thinking we had seen the worst case scenario. And now here the White House is coming out and saying, wow, things might actually be worse than we thought. This is a very uncertain period and creating a lot of fear in the markets, which is causing a lot of money to flow out of risk on assets like cryptocurrency. Now, the other main reason we are seeing money flow out of risk on assets like cryptocurrencies and just equities in general is because people fear that the Federal Reserve will have to fight harder to kill this inflation than they would have had to do prior. The Fed fights inflation by raising interest rates. That pretty much means they are taking liquidity out of the markets, and this creates less money to flow into our favorite risk on assets. People typically see the Fed raising interest rates as a bearish sign for equities, and that process is being carried over to cryptocurrencies also. So to quickly recap this, the market just got a lot of fear that it wasn't expecting and caused a lot of people to panic and sell out of assets that they believe will do worse in a high inflationary period. These assets typically have done worse in high inflationary periods because the Fed increases interest rates, which takes a lot of liquidity out of the markets and thus out of the assets you and I hold. So you're probably thinking, Mickle, that's horrible news. What's the good news? Well, it's bad news for the short term. But let's take a look at the longer term and decide whether or not this is a buying opportunity. And once we decide that, we can then take a look at the charts and see, hey, where might we end up when a lot of this pain is done being felt? So the first piece of bullish news is most cryptocurrencies aren't inflationary assets. Assets like XRP are actually deflationary. So if we were entering into a very high inflationary period, it would be a great idea to hedge this period with a deflationary asset like XRP. Because unlike the US dollar, which has continued to be inflated away by this high inflationary period, the total supply of XRP is actually constantly decreasing, making every single XRP worth more. Also, the value of the dollar going down as it is inflated away doesn't fundamentally change the value XRP brings to disrupting the financial system. If anything, it just makes that value worth more. So just like as inflation increases the prices of goods like bread and groceries, it also increases the prices of a transformational digital asset like XRP once the fear is taken out of the market. Now, the other super critical thing we need to be paying attention to is how likely the Fed and how willing the Fed is going to be to actually raise rates, or is it more of a bluff? Well, if we take a look at the Federal Reserve's total debt, we can see that it has gone parabolic. The Federal Reserve has a huge amount of debt on their balance sheet, and when they raise interest rates, it actually makes their own debt more expensive. This actually makes it harmful for the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates because as they continue to raise the rates, they're actually making their own debt more expensive. This makes it highly unlikely that the Fed will go overboard with raising rates because it could force them to default on their own debt. And this is something that is almost unthinkable for the US to let happen. So now that we understand that this is not a cryptocurrency specific issue, cryptocurrencies actually solve a lot of the problems we are seeing and will probably likely benefit from these problems if inflation continues to run rampant and people continue to look for a good way to hedge this inflation, well, then we have come to a conclusion that this would be a buying opportunity and not a selling opportunity. With that said, now we have to take a look at where a good buying opportunity is and where we start to get more concerned. Well, as of now, I almost have zero concern with the prices coming down because we're really at the level we saw a couple of weeks ago. Yes, it has gone down fast. Yes, it has been bloody, but we are still well within this ascending channel on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin tends to lead the market. We really just want to make sure that Bitcoin stays above this bottom support line, which is around 36,000. It's almost impossible to say whether or not we're going to come all the way down and touch this line, but I think until we start really closing significantly below this line, it's really a dip to be bought. Bitcoin tends to lead the market, so unless Bitcoin starts falling below these bottom support lines, I'm not too concerned about any of this price action, and for me, it's a buying opportunity. Well, with that said, we can make the assumption that if Bitcoin comes down to that lower support line, XRP will probably drop to its lower support line as well. Right now, we know XRP is in a huge symmetrical triangle pattern, and its bottom support line is around the 63-cent region. It could wick down a little lower, but that's generally the place I am going to be looking for a great XRP accumulation point. Over the long term, we know XRP is heavily undervalued in this market, and that's why I'm focusing on a digital asset like XRP rather than an asset like Bitcoin. If we zoom out and take a look where XRP is sitting in comparison to its previous 2018 all-time high, we can see XRP is still significantly below it, and to catch up to its previous all-time high, XRP would need over a 415% return to get there. On the other hand, an asset like Bitcoin is already significantly past its all-time high rather than below it, and Bitcoin is actually trading, despite this drop, still over 95% past its previous all-time high. That means for XRP to catch up to where Bitcoin is currently trading today, XRP would also have to push to about 95% past its previous 2018 all-time high, which takes us to about the $7 to $10 range. This is why I see such a terrific opportunity with XRP, completely ignoring the fact that it is currently transforming our financial system. XRP is heavily suppressed by the current SEC case, and that's why it is such a fantastic buying opportunity to be accumulating while all the FUD is still surrounding it. So what would make me concerned about the XRP price? Honestly, almost nothing. The lower XRP goes, the more bullish I get. Yes, it sucks to see your assets decrease in value. It's no fun looking at your portfolio, but it is one of the most fantastic times ever you could be accumulating. Trust me, one of the scariest times I ever witnessed was back in here when the XRP lawsuit was filed and XRP decreased in value from its peak to trough about 78 to 90%. This was a very scary time to be holding XRP, but if I look back at my portfolio and see my best buys on XRP ever, it was during this time period, and I got the craziest discount on XRP I ever got. These scary times tend to go away. The only thing that would make me fearful of holding XRP would be if something happened to the fundamentals. If banks came out and said, look, we will never use this for whatever reason, Ripple's product doesn't work. If the XRPL started losing adoption rather than gaining adoption. But rather, we seem to see the opposite things happen. Banks are becoming more willing and more willing to use XRP, and the XRP ledger adoption among independent developers is skyrocketing. That's why at these lower values, I am more confident than ever in XRP. It gives me more room for price appreciation to the upside, all while the fundamentals are getting stronger and stronger. This is one of the greatest divergences between fundamental value and price I have ever seen. That's why on a dip like this, I am focused on accumulating XRP. Guys, I really hope this video was helpful for you. I know it's no fun watching price action like this, but you should be focused on accumulating the amount of XRP you have rather than looking at the dollar value of your portfolio. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope this was helpful. For now, Mickle out.